Okay, guys. So I know that I might be feeling like I'm spamming you a little bit in the groups about the circuit training program that I'm putting together, guys. I'm putting it together because people had voiced an interest in it in the poll. So you asked for it. That's why it's coming. And so one of the things that I kind of wanted to start off with is to talk about equipment, and I know that I've posted about this, but sometimes maybe this might be a more accessible way for people to hear about it. This is back here, we're going to talk about that in a second, and what that is an outline of the program through the second week of September. But, and we will talk through that. I'm going to let you know what I have planned. If people have any questions, thoughts, concerns, please go ahead and voice them, either here in the group or private message me. One way or the other, it doesn't matter. I don't check the YouTube email very often, and I've been very bad about that. I don't really anticipate that I'm going to get better about it. So, it's going to be better to go through Facebook or the Telegram group if you need to message me directly. Now, one of the things that I think is going to be the most critical thing is going to be the suspension training. And I know we are all in different kinds of situations, guys, and I know that, it's an expensive, it can be an expensive proposition, and it can also be if you're living in a rental apartment, landlord sticks his head in every day, you don't necessarily want to have something bolted into your ceiling. And like I said, and if you've watched our workouts in the past, you can use a freaking tree. And the reason why I'm doing and kind of emphasizing that ghetto style TRX is because, guys, it's going to be the cheapest way for you to do it, and I really want to help you guys. If you guys want to put out the investment and get everything that I put on your shopping list, go ahead and do that, guys. It's only going to benefit you unless you guys don't actually follow the program or make time for this. And I'll be doing a video on motivation. Maybe I'll do it today, maybe I'll do it in the next couple days, to kind of get you guys thinking through what it is that you really want to achieve with this, get you guys thinking about motivation strategies to help you guys get through this and stick to it. One of the ways that I want to do it is, guys, I want to potentially figure out the days on here are actually planned out for you. So, you might be able to shift it over here or there and take a different rest day, but I'm going to be putting out probably the week before a video going through all the exercises that you need to know for the upcoming week, okay? And I'll talk you through all the training protocols that we'll be going through. But yeah, going back to kind of gear, if you are going to put in points, this is one of the styles that I would kind of recommend going with. You would find this at a marine store. This is a diamond plate. You want to have one. I'm not a huge expert in these particularly. You want to have one that's forged. If you have very clear welds can fail. This one you can see is mostly pretty much forged. Either that or the weld job is just completely spot on and I just can't tell. Either way, guys, you want something that's really, really going to be really solid. This one does have 4 holes in it. If you had 4x4s in your home, that would be fantastic, but you probably don't. So we're going into 2x4s, guys. We want to go with these two, on the 2 long ends, we want to go straight in, and the other 2 we want to angle in. And then you'll just either tie off to here or you'll use a carabiner. If you use a carabiner, use a climbing carabiner, the ones that have the threaded collar on it that stops it from opening. Carabiners, a lot of times I see it in the gym where people just clip on a carabiner, but the carabiner's sitting off to the side, the little clip, and carabiners get all their strength from that closing of that clip. So since we're trusting our lives and putting our body weight into it, we really want to make sure that we are using a proper carabiner and we're using that carabiner properly. Now, like I said, 3 to 4 feet is what we kind of want here. So it'd be here to here, right? You guys can't really see that, but almost as wide as I can reach out there. So that's probably a little bit more like 4 feet. Generally speaking, if you have a stud finder and you're going through a ceiling, there's 2 ways that you can do it. And this is actually the way that I would kind of probably prefer you to do it, is to put both the plates on the same 2x4. They're going to be far, 3 to 4 feet apart, so you don't have to necessarily worry too much about them splitting the wood and coming loose because of that. It's not going to be very likely. And the reason why I'm suggesting that is because, for one, if you're using like a standard TRX, you got two both arms going up to the same point, right, for your rows and whatnot. I want you going the direction of the 2x4, so head towards this other plate. Since the load's going to be divided between 2 points for like our chest presses, which by the way, especially for our equalizer push-ups, we're going to be directly below the point. And so I want the resistance coming in towards the side. I don't want it coming too much this way against the 2x4, right? It should be pretty solid in there. They're usually going to be like blocks in between them that prevents them from rolling. But just to be safe, I want to make sure, at least for our pulling movements, as much as possible, we want to be going the direction of the 2x4. And so, yeah, I would, if you are using two separate 2x4s, it's going to put some strain on it when you're doing the adduction type exercises, but that being said, you'll be facing the direction of the 2x4 when you're doing those, if you're doing them outwards. So there is advantages to that and disadvantages, so I just want you guys to go ahead and think about what is going to work best for you. I talked to my ex about this, and there are I think they're T-rails or something along those lines that we use. They're like T-tracks that basically you put on along one 2x4, and it has multiple little bolts that go in it, and it has a little car that has a little ring on it that slides up and down, and you can adjust those to whatever width that you want to. So if you wanted to progress an exercise, you can move them further apart, and then that way when you're doing that adduction, it's going to add more resistance to it versus if it gets closer to the center. And if you want to do your pulling exercises, but you want to have a little bit more stability, you don't want it off the same car, you can put them both together. You don't ever have to untie anything. And I might be going through, I'm going to probably be redesigning my ghetto suspension tools, because I want them to be more easily adjustable to different heights. I think that's been one of the things that's been the biggest pain in the ass about the workouts that we've been doing. And I do have an idea of how I want to do that. I just need to test it out before I show you guys. So that's it. Just for clarification, these are the style tube ends that I want you guys to get. We're going to use them a fair amount, not too heavily, and the reason why we're not doing it too heavily is because I don't want people to be locked out of being able to participate if they don't have them. These guys over here are cheaper. These go around your ankles and knees. These I think are going to be a little bit more critical for you to get, and they're probably going to run you probably $10 to $15. It's really not a big deal. This guy's going to be way down the road. These really, really wide ones. It's not in any part of the program that I've written out so far. So we're talking after September would be these guys. So as far as like kettlebell stuff goes, in the past in our workout videos, you've seen Jet use bags filled with something. You can go to Home Depot and you can get sand, right? And you can put it into a strong bag that you can hold on to easily and be able to do those swings relatively safely. So that would be something that you could potentially do to make that work. Also, rocks are also free. You can find smooth rocks everywhere, gravel, pile them in there, and that can work for a lot of the kettlebell work that we're going to be doing. If I were to do the sandbags style, what I would actually do with that is actually take maybe 10 pounds of sand and put them in smaller bags, and then I just pile them into the main bag, so I can easily adjust how heavy I want that to be. So if I'm doing a kettlebell swing or a single leg deadlift and I need different weights for those, I can easily adjust it. Just make sure that whatever bag you're using is definitely meant to probably do several times the amount of weight that you're going to put in there, because you have cylindrical force. Yeah, when you're spinning and everything goes up to the outside. I do speak English, I swear. My husband talks to me about that all the time. As far as adjustable dumbbells go, again, you can use sandbags for a lot of the things that we're doing. So that might be a really, really cheap way about going about doing that. I would definitely not recommend doing the water dumbbells that you just fill up to whatever weight you want to do. They don't seem to last very long. They seem to be very cheap, and you put any real weight on there, they're going to fail on you. So what I have here, I should have brought this over a bit. This guy. Now, the company Yes for All, when I bought this, these were 200 pounds. Now they're selling for 850, or $200. Now it's selling for $850. I think part of it was that they offered free shipping through Amazon. And so in the Facebook group, and I'll make sure that I think I put it into the Telegram group as well. I put into a link to ones that I think were $150, but they only go up to 100 pounds total between, so you can go 50 on each side. And I think that's going to be sufficient for most of the stuff that we're going to be doing for now. If you want to spend more money and go heavier, please go ahead and do that. So it appears that this one's no longer available. And this is what I kind of recommended, which was a adjustable kettlebell. So I just put the same weight plates that are on there onto this one. I think this one's been discontinued because of this piece of plastic down here. It's apparently been failing for a lot of people, so we have to be there are other designs out there that are rated better than that one, but they are a lot more pricey than that one is. So I think that one's been discontinued, but go ahead and look around. The one that I found that I was like, oh yeah, that would probably work, actually looks like the dumbbells, except it just has kettlebell loop on the top, and you just stack your weight plates on there, and it's got the same spinny clip on there, so I think it's going to be a lot safer than that guy. There are, of course, going to be disadvantages to that as far as like having this nub that sticks out. So if you're doing a kettlebell deadlift, you know, it might be problematic. Maybe you want to use a dumbbell for that. So we'll change that around as needed. But I do think that, you know, the most important thing that I want you guys to get is going to be the suspension trainer and figure out how you're going to do that. Another thing that you could do, and I've been looking into it for you guys, there are indoor pipe-based scaffoldings you can get. Again, that's going to be a little bit more on the spendy side. So if you're in a rental but you want to have something that's mobile with you, it's basically like that big around steel pipes that you screw into bases and whatnot, and then you use an Allen screw to tighten it up, and you create a big frame, and that would work too. So just make sure that it's stable in multiple directions. All right, so getting into the actual programming of things. Now we have cardio and strength, and we're going to be doing those in tandem with one another. So what I mean by that is because I don't want you guys to be fatigued for your actual lifting days, so your cardio days are going to be separate, especially in the beginning. Now, about mid-September, which is about where I've left off right now, guys, as far as the planning goes, these are going to meld together, and we're going to start working with both at the same time. But looking at, let's start with strength because it's a little bit more, it's more simple, whatever, it doesn't matter which one. So controlled lift, guys. What we're going to be doing here is, this is more of me setting a foundation with all of you, and I highly recommend, even if you think that you know what you're doing in the gym, I highly recommend that you guys go through this with me. It's not going to be that long, it's going to be about 2 months, right, of controlled lifting, and this is a strength phase. So if you guys saw my science video on exercise science and conditioning, we talked about this, that we want to, before we start doing any type of circuit-based training, we want to make sure that your lifts are as clean as possible. We want to teach your body to move right, because the more we start doing this high-intensity stuff, the more our form is going to slip. And so we want to really program that muscle memory. We want to find muscle imbalances before we get into that phase, because once we get into those high-intensity phases, that's when we're going to get injured, and I really don't want you guys to get hurt. So, and hopefully, you know, by the time that we need equipment and whatnot, hopefully gyms will be open again and you might be able to use that. But, so anyways, yes, through the end of July, we're going to be doing a slow lifting phase, and the protocol for that is going to be, you know, like if I'm doing a chest press, explode, 1, 2, 3, 4, explode, 2, 3, 4. Notice I'm not pausing too much at the top. I'm just making sure that I get there and I come out. This, guys, especially if I'm doing a chest press and I'm using dumbbells, one thing that I haven't mentioned, and maybe that will be one of the videos I'll do very soon here. If my arm is perfectly parallel with gravity, right now I have no resistance for adduction, which means to bring your arm to the center line. So if I'm working on my pectorals predominantly, and even my triceps here, right? My triceps, you know, they have to stabilize a lot more if I'm out like this, right? And I'm trying to hold. Actually, it'd probably be more like this turn down, right? This would be more tricep stabilization. But that's if I'm standing upright, guys. Whatever. So for here, right, this doesn't have, to the point, is this doesn't have resistance on either my pecs or my triceps, except for what is needed to stabilize. So this last little inch here, guys, it's nothing. If we're using the TRX and we got the far points outward, we're going to have tension still on our pecs. If we're using a traditional TRX, like anything past here, you're not doing anything, okay? Just because the TRX is just pulling you back to the center line because you've got that single point behind you, which is why I want to have the 2 points separate from each other so that we can actually get a pec workout out of it. It's my biggest criticism of TRX. Anyways, so that's the controlled lift phase, guys. The lifts that we're going to be doing in that phase are going to be kind of ridiculously simple, right? So we're doing alternating drop lunges, push-ups, crunches, overhead press, box squats, planks, tricep push-ups, side lunges, penguins. Very, very simple things here, guys. That's just your circuit 1, which is going to be all on one day. And then circuit 2, we'd have like things like TRX low row, bridges, reverse plank, high rows, stiff deadlifts. Yes, I'm doing stiff deadlifts. I'm going to teach you how to do it without hurting your back, but I don't think that you can do a proper Romanian deadlift unless you know how to hip hinge, and you're not going to learn both of those at the same time, so we're starting with a stiff deadlift. So criticize me all you want. TRX trunk twists, we're going to do some W flies for shoulder stability, starfish. You guys don't know what that is yet because it's my own name for something. Side plank lifts, just very simple stuff. But, when we get down here and we get into, here we go. Circuit 9, we're using the 1 ball push-ups, we're doing bench rows, we're doing compass lunges, which means to lunge, drop, lunge back. Like we're going in a circle with those lunges. We're not just going to one side, front or back. We're doing, how many would that be? 1, 2, 3, about 6 different points, 7 different points, something like that. So, and you can switch legs and do them on different legs and all that, okay? So, we have compass lunges, we have hamstring curls to bridges on the TRX, we have plank jacks, alternating or just squat thrusters, we have alternating high row with external shoulder rotation, hamstring medicine ball toss, yeah. Too many things to remember what that was. In-out squats, bear crawls, lat to front raise, pull-ups, skaters, hamstring runners. So things get a little bit more complicated as we get down there. We have renegade rows, Romanian deadlifts, V-sit, boat rolls, which I'll not have to show you guys, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. So that's that part of it. Now, once we get into August, guys, and the date changes just because of the weekend, right? And that's something I haven't mentioned, guys. This is 6 days a week. All the way through, guys. We're going 6 days a week. I might cut it back when we start getting to more intense training, but for right now, yes, it's 6 days a week. So August 3rd, we're going to switch protocols, and what's going to happen, and we're going to go back through the same workouts again, and the reason why we're doing that is because I want to introduce you to my more higher intensity circuit training with exercises that are definitely familiar with you, and it's also because it's structured from simple to complex. We get to start over that. So what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be doing 3 sets, 12 reps, 1 minute rest, and we're going through the sets as fast as we can. So again, form is going to be absolutely essential by the time that we get there, and that's why we're taking 2 months to really clean up our form and make sure that we're very familiar with the exercise that we're going to be doing. And then 1 minute rest between sets. So you're going to be doing each one of the circuits of 3 exercises, right, 3 times as fast as you can with 12 reps, 1 minute rest, and then you're going to have 3 circuits the total that you're going to do. Now, when we get into September, we might start looking at 5 circuits that we're going to be doing, 6 circuits. So it's going to build up. And this is what I'm saying right here is that we get actually in the first week of September, we have 5 sets of the same circuits, right? So, and then we'll probably be working on building up more circuits as we get there. Yeah, this is all prep here and introducing you to the high intensity circuit training, and we're going to when we get into here and I'm really confident that you guys are there. We're going to start going into some really intense stuff, and that's gonna probably really push you. So it's going to be really important that you guys miss as few days as possible. You do catch-ups. Like if you miss a day, use your rest day to do the workout that was supposed to be on that first day, so that you can actually recover, or there's going to be more nuance to that. But anyways, so looking at the cardio, remember guys, in order for me to be able to do circuit training, we talked about this earlier on, we're starting off with type 2X muscle fibers that we're predominantly working with, and we're starting off with whatever cardiovascular endurance level that we're already at. So if we jump right into the circuit training, we're gonna get nauseous, we're gonna throw up, we're gonna get injured and all that, and our heart's not gonna be able to keep up with it. So we are gonna be doing cardio, and really, it's not until we get into these interval circuits in August 3rd to September 12th that we are going to be doing like really like I don't actually even specify cardio for these first bits here. I just specify protocol. And the reason for that is whatever cardio is going to feel good for you, because it's really just really type 1 muscle fiber style of cardio. So we're running, we are biking, we are swimming, we are using a stationary bike, rowing machines, whatever you guys want to do. I will talk you through how to use a rowing machine properly, because nobody does, and I don't want you to throw your backs out, okay? So the first part here, and this is 6 weeks, right? So this is more organized in 6 week sections, where this is more organized by what I want to get out of you per section. So the steady state cardio, now this is actually structured a little bit more than I'm implying. So let me go ahead and look at that for you, because I really should have written that down here. So, you know, the first, the way that we're going to be judging our cardio is rate of perceived exertion. And I kind of did it, I labeled it out wrong here, because I just kind of wanted you guys to have kind of a point of reference to be working through. So what I say here is that we have, you know, level 1 is a walk, level 2 is a light jog, 3 is a real jog, 4 is a run, 5 is a sprint. One way to kind of judge this, guys, is that, okay, right now, the way that I'm speaking to you right now is very fluid. It's very easy. I'm at, you know, one level. If I'm walking, the way that I speak is not going to change, right? If I go into kind of a jog, then I'm going to probably still be able to carry on a conversation, especially if it's a light jog. If I get into that more like real jog, I'm still probably going to have a relatively easy time speaking to another person. If I get into my running phases, guys, depending on what intensity you're at, is going to be, you know, how easy is it for you to speak. So if we're getting to like a really hard run, you should not be able to say more than like one word per breath. It's going to be a more challenging thing for you to do. And so I want you guys to be thinking about that and judging how hard you're working by that. You can also, and I probably will give you guys the formulas and whatnot to judge heart rate. If you guys want to get heart rate monitors, Fitbits or something like that can monitor your heart rate, especially those of you who are older. That's going to be a good way of kind of knowing how hard you're pushing yourself and knowing where you are to those boundaries. So yes, that's how we're going to be talking about it. So again, when we're doing our first cardios, we're just starting with 20 minutes, guys. For the first week is it's actually the first 2 weeks. We're doing So for the first 2 weeks we're only doing about 20 minutes. But what changes here, guys, is that in the first week we're just jogging for that full 20 minutes. So it's a nice, easy intro. Okay, we're going to be doing cardio. So you know, I'm saying jogging, but it can be whatever form of cardio that you want to do. I do not want you doing treadmills. I'm kind of iffy on ellipticals. Kind of iffy a little bit on stationary bikes, but if you have one, great. The reason why I don't want you to do treadmills is because, again, I don't want your hip flexors, especially since we're doing martial arts of some sort. I don't, you know, this muscle, all these hip flexors, specifically the iliacus and psoas, tend to be habitually tight. And when you're running, you're using that muscle a lot. Now, when you are trying to propel yourself forward on a treadmill, your foot's going to strike the belt on the treadmill, and then the belt is actually going to carry your leg back instead of you propelling yourself forward. So you don't get any glute hamstring engagement on that, and that's going to really hurt your efficacy on that. You're not going to develop the same way on that as you would if you were to be running on solid ground. So, but you know, use your judgment, guys. If you have bad knees or something like that, don't go jogging. You can use like a bike and go biking. You can go swimming. Those are going to be lower impact things. No, you don't even have to use your legs when you swim. No, you don't. You can just let them drag behind you. It's still going to be a pretty good workout. So anyways, looking at week 2, the steady state cardio, we're doing 20 minutes of that. And for 3 minutes, we're just using 15 minutes for the jog, and then we're using 5 minutes of a run. Okay, so we're building up a little bit there, and then the next day, which is going to be Thursday, we're going to do 12 minutes for the jog, 8 minutes for the run, until we get 10 minutes even. Then on the next week, we're doing 30 minutes, and we're going to kind of build up the same way. So we're doing jog, 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 run, 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 to get build up, build up, build up. And then we get all the way up to 40 minutes, guys, because that is the most effective time frame for doing in-depth cardio. Now, steady state cardio is not the most effective way of developing your cardiovascular system and developing your endurance. Why are we starting with it then? Because you don't have the foundation to be able to do interval training yet, right? So I want you, when we get into the interval stuff, I want you guys to be able to do it without having to stop, without having to really give up, without gassing yourself out. And so doing the steady state cardio, yes, it's something that a lot of people say, don't do it, don't ever do it, it's completely useless. We're doing it because we're trying to build up a foundation. Now, if you guys already do cardio all the time and you want to go right into interval training, then you are more than welcome to do that. You're more than welcome to do the same cardio, but maybe you're going to do stadium stairs instead of running on flat ground, right? So you might find ways to challenge yourself. You should be pretty gassed by the time you get through the end of your workout, and you're all going to be at different levels. So go ahead and look for what's going to challenge you the most. Now, when we get into July 13th, we're going to start introducing interval training. And so what we're going to be using, we're just going to be using a 40-20 protocol. We're going to be doing jogging for 5 sets, and then we're going to be doing running for 5 sets. So this is going to be 1 minute per set, so that's going to be full 10 minutes. And then we're going to do 3 minutes, or jogging for 10 minutes at the very finish there. So I want you to keep going, and we're just kind of lightly introducing you to the interval training. And what's going to change through there is how many sets you do of each, right? And you're going to get less of that jogging towards the end there. When we get into August and we're doing our interval training, right? We're doing, in August things change. Okay, so we're no longer doing your free-for-all as far as your cardio go. And so what we're going to do once we get into August is we're actually going to start going back into these sheets, which is going to tell you, we're going to be doing 40-20, 30-15, and 20-10 circuits. And what we're going to be doing in these is like shuttles, bear crawls, battle ropes, skaters, slams, which can be done with either battle ropes or can be done with a med ball. So the battle ropes are going to be something that you're going to want to get by the time that we get into the interval circuits around August 3rd. So that is going to be an important thing. Some type of 12-inch box you're going to want that you're not going to fall through. We have like those paving stones, costs almost nothing, or the retaining wall stones. That would work, okay? Whatever you can get your hands on, but you want it to be close to 9 to 12 inches at least. The thing that I want you to look out for, when you step onto any high step, you kind of want to have like this angle, right? I don't want to be all the way at that 90-degree bend of my legs, because that's going to put a lot of strain on that patellar tendon, especially with this type of training. So we don't necessarily want to do that. And these circuits guys get really hard. So 10, we have like the bear crawls, there's battle snakes, kangaroos, which you guys don't know what kangaroos are yet, but I'll teach them to you. Circuit 11, so this is like, the circuit 10 is going to be on like Tuesday, I think. Circuit 11 is going to be on Thursday, right? And this one actually has full burpees, it has front high steps, it has front back shuttles, kickouts, lateral bear crawls, overhead rotational slams, switch side knee ride drills. You're going to want to have either a small inflatable physio ball or a slam ball for that, or anything that you're not going to bust up your knee that's going to be at the right height for that. And battle jacks, that's going to be with battle ropes again. We're going to do plank ups. You can do them right on the ground. I do have variations that use 2 boxes that I'm going to show, but you're not required to do them. And on circuit 12, we're going to be doing cone drills, we're going to do ladder drills, we're going to be running stairs. And then, guys, mid-September, the cardio days are going to start focusing a lot more on reaction things, guys. So if we're doing burpees, you're going to be doing with a randomized timer. So it's going to tell you when to go down into those burpees. We're going to be doing sprint drills like erasers, which are, if you've ever done basketball or soccer or one of those sports, you've probably done them. We're going to be doing more cone drills. We're going to be doing a lot of randomized stuff that's going to be reactionary. We might be doing break falls to technical lift, technical rise, right? A lot of things that are going to be kind of applying more into jiu-jitsu and more into that reaction type thing. If we are out of quarantine, I might change the program a little bit so that we have a lot more partner stuff that we're going to be doing, such as follow drills and that type of thing. So, and honestly, I think that having partners is going to be, for me, easier for like the reaction drills and that type of thing, because then you have a human element who can actually see where you're at and challenge you or not. So guys, this is kind of where we are with this. I am planning on continuing to write this out through the end of December. From there, we'll see where the world's at. We'll see where my schedule's at, and see how much more I can help you guys progress with that. But I hope you guys are getting excited about this. I don't want to do this if it's just going to be me or me and one other person. But I want this to be a really, really communal thing, and maybe this is something that we can bond over as a community, right? Because that's a big part of this project, is not just to get you guys better at wrestling, but it's to connect us with one another. So we're not just faces and profiles on Meat Fighters or wherever we're at, but we are actually people that teach each other and work with each other and struggle together, right? That's going to be one of the things that I think is going to be very helpful for us. So that's what I have for you guys. If it sounds like shit, let me know. Okay, I'm not so fragile that I can't handle feedback. If you guys don't plan on doing it, let me know. More importantly, guys, if you are planning on doing it, let me know. Let me know what your constraints are, guys. I need to know what you can and cannot get, what you can and cannot do. I need to know if you have any injuries, guys, because I'm going to need to start giving you guys specific progressions and regressions based on your individual levels. So you do need to communicate with me as soon as possible. And if nobody's planning on doing this program at all, it's just me, maybe Jet and I will do it, and maybe I don't know. I don't know. I want this to be something that benefits you all, guys. And again, I'm a personal trainer, guys. That is my job, and so I'm taking this as seriously as I possibly can. I have never really been a fan of the idea of doing an online program like this, but this is free to you other than the equipment. I'm not charging you for this, and the reason why I'm kind of skittish about it is because I can't see if you guys have muscle imbalances. I can't prevent you from having injuries. I can't make that call to progress or regress when I don't see you doing the workouts. So that's one of the reasons that we're taking this slow and careful. But I promise you guys, you're going to get your asses kicked. I really do promise that. So I hope you guys are excited. Please let me know what your thoughts are, and I will talk to you soon.